Chocolate. It's a word that can make your mouth water just thinking about it. If you're an average American, you eat 11 pounds of chocolate each year. The first chocolate bar was invented in 1867, but chocolate itself goes back through the centuries to the ancient empires of the Americas, when the word for chocolate was chocolato. Chocolato. They believed it was. In the ancient worlds of the Olmec, the Maya, and the Aztec, chocolate played a very special role. The Olmec and the Maya had civilizations based on farming, and they cultivated the first cacao trees. The Aztec, farther to the north, believed that cacao beans were sacred food given to their people by the god Quetzalcoatl. They believed that eating chocolate, which is made from cacao beans, gave people energy and wisdom. It was a food so valuable that it was used for money and kept in the palace treasury by the great Aztec king, Montezuma. What types of cultures were these, where cacao beans became as precious as gold? This is Shelley Ulrich, who works in the Special Exhibits Department at the Field Museum in Chicago.
I'm an exhibit developer here at the Field Museum, and today we're inside anthropology storage where we keep all of our artifacts. I'm an exhibit developer, which means I work with the public and the curators here at the museum to create a story for an exhibit.
What does the use of chocolate by the Maya and the Aztec tell us about the worlds they lived in?
A good way to think about chocolate and the Maya is to think about wine. Today, wine is used in certain religious ceremonies to make the ceremony more special. In the past, the ancient Maya people used chocolate as offerings to their gods. Priests and kings could drink it, so it became very special. For the ancient Aztec, chocolate didn't grow in their territories. They actually had to import it in from tropical regions to the south. So it was extra valuable. That means they actually used it as a form of money. In the past, the ancient Aztecs used cacao or chocolate as their currency. So you could go shopping in an Aztec marketplace and everybody knew the price of a tomato or a chili pepper or a rabbit or a piece of meat because they knew how much it was valued in cacao, in chocolate.
Did chocolate in Mayan and Aztec times taste like chocolate today?
Chocolate in ancient American times was very different from chocolate today. It was rich and it was spicy, almost like a porridge. They would take ground up cornmeal or maize and add it with water and chili peppers and honey and other natural spices they had in their lands. So it wasn't sweet. It tasted a lot like baking chocolate that we use today when we make cookies or cakes. Very rich and chocolatey, but not sweet at all.
How do scientists learn about the use of chocolate in ancient cultures?
Scientists usually study the clues ancient people left behind. So there's two major pieces of evidence you can look at. Archaeologists look at ruins of buildings, ancient cities, the way people buried their ancestors and the offerings they gave to their ancestors, and historians look at written documents. We're pretty lucky that Maya and Aztec people left behind all of those things. The Maya had a very elaborate writing system. They actually had people in their society that just wrote histories. So we actually have cups, like certain ones of these, where it's been painted on, this cup belonged to King so-and-so, he used it to drink chocolate. We also have archaeological excavations of houses where chocolate dishes have been found. Some archaeologists have been lucky enough to find entire Maya villages buried by a volcanic eruption, and chocolate trees have actually been fossilized and frozen in time. Now, in the written records, historians look at the documents the Maya and Aztec people left behind. Like I said, they had scribes that wrote histories, but the Aztecs also taxed a lot of people, and there's lots of records that still exist of the taxes. Chocolate was a tax that people had to pay the Aztecs. So there are records that still exist saying this village owes so many bags of chocolate seeds to the Aztec ruler.
How were the lives of the people in Mayan and Aztec times like our lives today?
Well, the Maya and Aztec cultures were very sophisticated. We shouldn't think they were primitive or not as intelligent as our culture today just because they lived in the past. By studying chocolate, we see that they had stratified societies, which meant there were lower class people, middle class people, upper class people, and people in power, just like today. We can look at the rich objects these kings had in their possessions, like chocolate drinking dishes or chocolate offering vessels. So a very specialized society, just like us today. You do a certain job every day, and that's how you earn your living.
The Mayan and Aztec civilizations have left us with amazing treasures.